And welcome to another installment here on my new YouTube channel, The OCD Warrior. My name's Becky Jane Stevenson. Welcome if you are new, welcome back if you've watched any of my previous videos. I'm an OCD advocate. I'm active in a number of support groups on Facebook, as well as some support forums such as OCD UK and OCD Action. So I did a post in one of my support groups, one of the support groups I'm a member of, about what videos would be helpful for them, you know, what topics could I discuss that they would find useful or they would like to see. So this is kind of in response to those. There was 4 kind of main topics that come up. I have just recorded the other 2, so this is my 3rd. So this one is a little bit different, and I kind of had to look into this one, so I have got some notes. Those of you that have watched other videos will know that I have notes at the side of me because I am kind of a bit scatty-brained, so I tend to go off track a little bit, and I don't want to do that, so I have some notes so I'm not being rude. So this one is different compared to the other videos that I've done, because it's to do with sleep paralysis. Now, sleep paralysis itself is not something that comes from OCD. It's kind of something completely different. However, I'm sure you'll understand sleep paralysis is very, very scary, and you know, I can only imagine the kind of anxiety and distress that kind of follows on from that. So there is a kind of topic here. Somebody asked me to do a video about the fear of having sleep paralysis again, or having another episode. So essentially this person had become quite frightened, quite distressed about going to sleep, because of his experiences with sleep paralysis, which again, somebody without OCD, I can understand why they would be quite fearful. So this in itself isn't actually an OCD theme, it's actually a phobia. So this person has developed a phobia from his experience of sleep paralysis. Now this is called somniphobia, so there is a name for a fear of sleep, somniphobia. Who knew? So somniphobia is a fear of sleep, and a huge fear of the unknown while they're asleep. So this can be feeling vulnerable whilst asleep, sleep talking, so the fear could be that they may talk in their sleep and may admit to something that they might not have done, or incriminate themselves, or come out with gibberish. A fear of sleepwalking while they're asleep, a fear of death in the sleep, so having a heart attack and kind of passing away in the sleep, nightmares and night terrors, sleep paralysis, horror movies. So that one I understand fully, and I have probably a touch of somniphobia, because I won't watch horror films for that very reason, because I become too afraid that the horror movie will kind of repeat whilst I'm asleep. So it's yeah, horrors just aren't my thing. I can't watch them. So that is another area that is affected by this somniphobia. Trauma, so if there's been a traumatic event or something that's been distressing that person's seen, it may play out while they're trying to go to sleep, or it may play out in their subconscious while they're asleep, so then they become fearful of having to relive that trauma. So like I say, it's not really an OCD thing, but the anxiety and the fear and stuff I can kind of connect with, because obviously extreme anxiety is one of the key features in OCD. So I can kind of understand the fear, and kind of the irrational thinking as well. Maybe not the irrational thinking, because this one is quite real. So this guy has experienced sleep paralysis. It's not something I've experienced personally, but I've heard from other people and certain friends that have had experiences of sleep paralysis. So I can kind of understand why somebody would be too afraid to go to sleep, because they're afraid of that happening again. So I'm kind of not going to delve into it fully because, like I say, it's not something I've experienced myself, but I do understand a little bit about it, and a little bit of the things that are connected to this phobia, such as obviously the horror films, and feeling vulnerable whilst asleep. That's certainly something that I can really connect with. So how do we overcome the fear of going to sleep? Was the question that this guy asked. How do I overcome the fear of going to sleep? So sleep, I love my sleep. I look forward to bedtime. So going to bed for me and going to sleep is a positive thing. So somebody with somniphobia like this guy, I can only imagine it is a very kind of negative, fearful situation where it no longer feels like a positive thing for him. So there are things that somebody can do if they have somniphobia, or in response to the guy that asked the question, this is in response to you. There are certain things that are going to help you to create a more positive experience in going to sleep. I cannot say that you wouldn't be affected by sleep paralysis again, because I'm not sure how or what has triggered the sleep paralysis off you, or why that happens. That's probably something, if you are in therapy or you have a therapist, that may be something that you could discuss with them. But there's certainly things that you can do that can help falling to sleep and wanting to go to sleep become a much more calmer, I won't say positive because it will take some practice, but a much more calmer process for you. So deep breathing is huge. So kind of deep breathing is, I remember somebody telling me actually that they felt like deep breathing was like a natural diazepam. So for those that don't know what diazepam is, the other name is benzos or sedatives. So the deep breathing exercises that this person was doing was like giving himself a natural sedative. So that's how powerful deep breathing can be. Deep breathing can also mean it slows down that anxiety response. So maybe kind of finding an audio. YouTube is fantastic for finding different calming audios, like the waves, the rain, water, you know, different kind of sounds that are quite calming. You could find a sleep meditation, so that prepares you for sleep. So if you like tea, you know, chamomile tea is great for kind of relaxing someone down. If you're wanting to prepare for sleep, then there is a tea out there which has a naturally sedating effect, which is called valerian tea. So it's valerian root tea, and it's quite, like I say, it's naturally sedating, but please make sure you check against any medication you're taking whether it's safe to take the valerian root tea as well. I only know this because previously I wasn't on medication. I would drink valerian root before bedtime. Usually within 20 minutes of drinking it I was out for the count. Unfortunately this time I am on medication, and valerian root tea is not advised, so please make sure first before you go ahead and order valerian tea bags. But chamomile is certainly safe. So like I say, you can maybe find a calming audio on here. You can find a mindfulness video, a short one that will prepare you for sleep. Sleep meditation, so you can grab some, I know there are some speakers now that you can buy that are designed to go under your pillow so you can listen to an audio as you're going to sleep, or if you've got like a docking station or something like that where you can put an audio onto YouTube. Like I said, there's thousands upon thousands of free audios on YouTube that you can listen to as you are going to sleep. Now, it is a known fact that the brain can only concentrate on one thing at a time. You may think that it can concentrate on many other things, but it can only concentrate and focus on one thing at a time. So, you know, the counting sheep thing, usually people don't really get past 20, I suppose, unless they experience insomnia. I know I don't get past 10 before I fall asleep because I'm concentrating on that instead of, you know, if you go to bed anxious and that's what you're thinking about, it's going to kind of perpetuate that anxiety feeling. But if you're concentrating on something else, you can't concentrate on the anxiety, so naturally, you know, you're bringing that anxiety down. So yeah, there are special speakers you can find. Go under your pillow, find a docking station. There are some great meditation, sleep meditation audios. Some of them even go on for 8 hours, the entire time that you're asleep. And listen to that again. I'm really sorry if you can hear my youngest in the background. He's not in the best of moods today, unfortunately. And you can listen to that while you're going to sleep. So instead of going to bed really anxious and fearful and thinking, you know, sleep paralysis is going to happen, you're listening to this audio, so naturally it has you focusing on that deep breathing, it has you listening to the voice and any background music and stuff, so you're not actually focusing on that fear, you're focusing on something else. Talking therapy, so if you have a therapist or you are in CBT, you can discuss this fear with them as well. Unfortunately, I don't think if you're in therapy for OCD, I think phobias will be a separate therapy because they are handled differently. You can journal your fears around sleep and write it down, and then come back to it in the daytime when you're awake and try and figure out a pattern, see what's going on. Psychotherapy is another type of therapy that can really help for you to work past your somniphobia, and even hypnotherapy. And I know that's kind of, when I wrote it in my notes, I thought hypnotherapy is kind of counterproductive to the feeling vulnerable whilst asleep, but hypnotherapy may help you move past the fear of going to sleep. And all of these kind of little tips and tools and things that you can do to help relax you. So getting a good bedtime routine. The brain on average takes around 21 days minimum to establish a new habit, and that's due to the neuroplasticity in your brain. So 21 days minimum. If you give yourself 21 days minimum to set up a new bedtime routine to help prepare you for sleep and relax you and stuff, the brain will start naturally cottoning on to that, you know, and hopefully should change your feelings towards sleep and start working towards making it a really positive experience rather than something negative, something that you dread. Because naturally, if you start fearing sleep and you dread it, your brain will start trying to keep you awake to kind of keep you safe, if that makes sense. So I hope, to the guy that posted it on Facebook, confidentiality reasons I will not be sharing his name, but I'll be sharing this link with him so you can watch it. Really hope it's this has been helpful for you. If you have any comments, just go back to the post and put any comments there if you wish, or if you have any questions. But do let me know whether it's been helpful for you. For those of you that are watching and not the guy on Facebook, if this has been helpful for you, again, leave comments below. Let me know if there's a certain topic you want me to discuss on YouTube. Then again, let me know. If you want to come find me on Facebook, I do have a page, OCD Warrior. So OCD Warrior, all one word. If you see the t-shirts and stuff, you'll know that that's my page. You can come follow me there, or you can drop some suggestions in the comments as well. So like I say, hope this has been helpful. I am not a mental health professional. I'm an OCD advocate. I understand a fair bit about OCD and some other stuff, so I'm just kind of trying to be as helpful as possible for you all. So take care for now.